Nation. This is the Wild Man, and I got to tell you, I'm fired up tonight. Why, you might ask? I'm about to talk about a man who, if arrogance was currency, would make Elon Musk look absolutely broke. A man who wears SEC bias on his sleeve more than a Bama booster tailgate. A man who makes his living trashing the greatest fan base in college football. I'm talking about none other than that arrogant, ignorant, loudmouth, big-eared jackass, Paul freaking Finebaum. Yeah, that's right. I said it. I'm not taking it back. We are talking about a guy whose latest line of trash he has spewed this past weekend on his little SEC network soapbox stated, and I quote, he stated of Ohio State fans, and I quote this: obnoxious, disgusting, despicable, sniveling, and supercilious. That's right. He used the word supercilious. You know what? You're pretty full of yourself when you use a word that most of your fan base has to get on Google to look up the definition of. And why did he say it? Why? Because the caller, probably some Alabama fan who still hasn't recovered from watching Michigan torch their defense last year, called in to say Ohio State fans are whiny, arrogant, and loud. Instead of doing his job as a broadcaster, instead of providing perspective and intelligent commentary, Finebaum piled on like a little child in a mud fight. Couldn't help himself. He jumped right in with both feet and started slinging insults like it was open mic night at the SEC Bias Convention. But guys, you know, it's not new. This isn't the first time. This is a pattern. It's a pattern of hate. Paul Finebaum has made his career out of attacking Ohio State, its coaches, its fans, its team, everything about Ohio State. You'd think we'd gone out, keyed the guy's car, and burned an Alabama flag the way he talks about us. Before the season even started, this guy went out on national TV and said, and I'm quoting again here, by the way, Ohio State's preseason ranking at number 3 is too high. They are the beneficiaries of excessive praise for last year's championship. Are you kidding me? Excessive praise? The Buckeyes won the national title last year, you doorknob. You'd think the defending champs might deserve just a little bit of respect. I mean, hell, the SEC's been riding Alabama's coattails for 2 decades. They've been getting all these bogus early preseason rankings that inflate their games throughout the season to make them look more superior. But you know what? He didn't stop there. Because this moron, who can't help but open his mouth and say something stupid every time he needs to take a breath, stated that Ohio State would get blown out by Texas in the opener. That one aged well, Paul. Ohio State went out and executed their game plan. But does Finebaum admit he's wrong? No. He just shifts the goalposts, changes the narratives, blames an official. Then the guy calls Ryan Day clueless in big games. He's not a top 2 or 3 coach. That's a direct quote. You're right, he's not a top 2 or 3 coach. He is the winningest coach in college football history by percentage right now. He is a man that in his 7 years of coaching has 10 losses. Only one to an unranked team. He's never been ranked worse than 11th. That was one game. He talks about Ohio State as a media creation. Meanwhile, he sits there pretending like the SEC hasn't been getting media welfare for the last 2 decades. He's the same guy who once said, Big Ten fans act like they invented football. Well, I'm not going to say much here. I can't remember where the first football game was played. Was it Rutgers? It's a Big Ten school. Maybe it wasn't then, but it's a Big Ten school. We've had guys by the name of Chick Harley, Woody Hayes, only 2-time Heisman Trophy winner in college football history, Archie Griffin. The Big Ten laid the foundation of the sport that you profit from every stinking Saturday. For the love of God, I've even got to give credit to the morons in Michigan. Because let's face it, before the face mask, they were dominant. If you look at history, you've got to put them as part of that credit. I don't like it. But the fact is, the Big Ten, indeed, I think, created football for the most part. At least at the level we know now. So, you see, Finebaum doesn't just hate Ohio State because we're good. He hates us because we're better. Better than the SEC narrative he's been selling for years that he's been profiting off of. Every time the Buckeyes win, his little kingdom of bias shakes him a little bit. Every Big Ten playoff berth, every 5-star commitment that comes to Columbus, every time Ohio State is dominant on the recruiting trail, it chips away at the myth he has built around his precious SEC. And he lashes out. And he calls names. Because when the facts stop favoring his narrative, all he's left with is insults. Here's the facts, Paul. Ryan Day is the best coach in college football right now. Here's another fact. The SEC hasn't played for a national title the past 2 seasons. There's a reason why. Now let me make something clear, Buckeye Nation. We are passionate. We love our team. We live and breathe this stuff. We fill the shoe 105,000 screaming fans. Rain, shine, fair weather, doesn't matter. We pack bars, we pack tailgates, we bleed scarlet and gray. And Paul Finebaum wants to call us obnoxious. I call it loyalty. He wants to call us disgusting. I call it tradition. He wants to call it supercilious. Everybody in Alabama is now running for their dictionary. Well, I call it confidence. And confidence comes from excellence. Something Finebaum clearly can't understand unless it's wearing an Alabama logo. Oh, by the way, all of that you can thank an Earl Bruce prodigy for. You're welcome. You know what really makes me crazy about this, though, is how the guy hides behind a mask of, I'm just giving my opinion. He throws grenades, then acts like when Buckeye Nation fires back, he's being the one picked on. He's the bully who cries foul when somebody finally punches him in the teeth. The man who spends hours insulting programs outside his region and then wonders why in the hell he is not welcome north of the Mason-Dixon line. I mean, this is the same Paul Finebaum who said, he would consider leaving the country if an SEC team didn't win the college football playoff this year. Seriously, Paul, don't threaten us with a good time, man. Don't do it. I'll help you pack. You can take your SEC bias, your Bama bobblehead, and that smug little smirk and move somewhere where nobody cares about football. Because you sure as hell don't respect this game anymore. Here's the truth, Buckeye Nation. Paul Finebaum doesn't analyze college football. He agitates. That's it. He's a kid in a sandbox who doesn't want to share his toys. The radio host who thrives on hate clicks and hot takes. He doesn't care about being right. He cares about being loud. He is the Dave Portnoy of the SEC. And that's why, despite all the bluster, he'll never have what we got. A community built on pride, tradition, and sustained excellence. Because at the end of the day, Ohio State doesn't want nor need Paul Finebaum's approval. Ohio State has the national titles. They've got 40 Big Ten championships. More Heisman winners than the entire SEC East combined. And the most passionate, loyal fan base in the country. Meanwhile, Paul Finebaum's biggest claim to fame is sitting in a studio yelling at callers who probably think Vanderbilt's still in the playoff race. So, Paul, if you're listening, and maybe you should be, you can call us obnoxious. You can call us disgusting. You can call us whatever $5 SAT word you want. But what you will never call us is irrelevant. We're the program you can't stop talking about. You should just go up and cover Michigan football because we live in their heads as well. I know how much people hate this saying, but we do indeed live rent-free in your head, my man. And every time Ohio State wins, that little vein in your wrinkled old forehead pops out just a little bit more. And you know what? I love it. So keep talking, Paul Finebaum. Keep hating. Because while you're in the business of running your mouth, the Buckeyes are in the business of running college football. And that, my friends, is the facts. Thanks, everybody, for checking out this video. Appreciate it. Please like, subscribe, share this with a friend. Let everybody know where they can find us on YouTube, on our new Patreon channel. Thank you always. Thank you. And as always, good evening. Go Bucks.